So this morning we'll be doing something called somatic movement. You might have seen from the title. If you've never heard of somatic movement, then what it is where we focus internally on our experience of the movement rather than focusing externally on the appearance of it. So put simply, we're just focusing on how something feels in our body rather than how it looks. So to help us to do that, we are going to be using pratyahara, which is removal of the senses. So the sense that we're going to remove to help us focus inwards rather than on how things look is sight. So I'd really like for you to do this entire practice with your eyes closed if you're able to. Really, you should do it blindfolded, but I don't really go in for blindfolded yoga for a few reasons. Firstly, it feels really weird for me. It's not something that I wear very often. You know, I don't sleep with an eye mask on or anything. So for me, it irritates me, and then that distracts me from the experience. So it's not incredibly helpful. Secondly, if you suddenly find that you're feeling a little bit anxious or, you know, a little bit unbalanced and you need to open your eyes, it takes a bit of effort. You know, you're not able to do it quick enough. So with your eyes closed, you can very quickly open your eyes. So yeah, as much as you can for this practice, keep your eyes closed. Really rely on your listening. So as I said, we're not focusing on the appearance of the postures or how they look. We're focusing on how it feels in your body. So there really is no right or wrong. You don't need to keep looking at the screen to see what I'm doing. I'll probably be doing something entirely different anyway, because I'll just go with how things feel in my body. I'd love for you to do the same. So we're actually going to start lying down. And you can, of course, at any time, should you feel anxious or anything, you feel unbalanced, just open your eyes as and when you need to. Coming back to closing your eyes when and if you feel ready to. So just come down to find yourself in constructive rest with the knees bent. Arms can be resting on the body, out by the sides, just wherever you'd like. Just closing down the eyes and finding your breath. I think that's quite an odd expression, find your breath. But really we are finding our breath. See where we sense it in the body. Breathing is something that's done by the autonomic nervous system. So that means it's automatically done for us. It requires no thought or effort from ourselves. We can, of course, change our breath consciously. But it's something that generally our body just does for us with no effort on our part. So we can actually become quite disconnected from our breath since we don't really have an active role in its presence. So even though the expression find your breath may sound somewhat silly, that's really what we're trying to do. Find our breath within our bodies, sense our breath, how it feels, where we feel it, the quality of it. So just seeing if you can make your breathing more equal. Breathing in and out through the nose if you're able to. Lovely. Keeping the eyes closed. Just going to raise the arms up. So wrists stacked over the shoulders. You don't need to open your eyes to look. Just get a sense of where that might be. And the arms are reaching directly up, fingertips facing up towards the sky. And then you're going to send that right arm back, so reaching up overhead. Maybe the hand comes down towards the ground, maybe it doesn't reach. Doesn't really matter. Exhale, take that arm back up, nice and slowly. Just noticing where in the body you feel sensation. Inhale, send that arm back again, right arm. Exhale, take the arm back up. Once more, nice and slowly, just seeing if you can get a sense of any sensations in the body. Exhale the arm back up. And then bring that left hand and wrap it around your rib cage. Bring your awareness beneath that left hand as we repeat that exercise. So as you inhale, sending the right arm up overhead, back down towards the ground. Just noticing what we feel underneath that left hand. If anything, doesn't matter if you don't notice anything. It takes a lot of practice to tune into your body. Inhale, send the arm back. Exhale as you float the fingertips back up. Maybe you're starting to sense some movement underneath that left hand. Inhale the arm back, just getting a sense of all the different muscles involved in this action, whereabouts in the body they are. Might be a bit of a surprise. Lovely. Then taking that left arm back up, we're just going to move to the other side. So just starting with taking that left arm up and back, noticing any sensations, and it might feel completely different in this side. Exhale to take the fingertips back up towards the sky. Inhale, send the fingertips back. Exhale back up. Once more. Exhale, fingertips rise back up. And then wrapping that right hand around the rib cage, bringing your awareness to that right hand, just underneath the right hand. And just repeating that action. Inhale, send the fingertips back. And just seeing if you can sense any movement underneath that right hand. Doesn't matter if you can't. Last time, inhale, send the fingertips all the way up overhead, back towards the ground. Exhale, float the fingers back up. Lovely. Release the arms. I'm going to draw the knees in towards the chest. Bring each hand on each knee and then separate the knees, and we're going to start to make some circles. So it really doesn't matter which direction you've gone in. It doesn't matter on how big your circles are or how you're doing them for that matter. Just as long as you're moving into the hips, just really focus on the hip area. Noticing where you feel any sensations. Maybe noticing what muscles seem to be engaging. And reverse those circles. Keep that breath nice and steady, equal parts breathing. And then bring both feet back to the ground. Keep that right leg bent. Send the left leg out straight down your mat. Just see if you can really try and relax that left leg. So maybe give it a gentle wobble side to side to relax it. And just bring the arms out to the side so that the palms rest on the ground, just for support. And then you're going to allow that right knee to drop down towards the ground on the right side. So allowing the leg to open up towards the side. Just checking with that left leg, make sure it's still relaxed. And lifting the knee back up through center. And then rolling on to that left hip. So pressing into the right foot. Keep that left leg really relaxed. You're using that right side of your body to roll onto the left hip. The knee will draw across the body slightly. Rolling back to center. Open that knee out to the side again. Check in with that left leg. Is it still relaxed? Drawing the knee back up through center. Rolling onto that left hip. Back through center, allow that knee to drop out to the side last time. Left leg is relaxed, give it another shake out if you need to remind it to relax. And then drawing the knee back up through center, press into that right foot, roll onto the outside of that left hip. Lovely. Coming back to center, we're just going to swap sides. Bend into that left leg, sole of the foot comes to the ground. Send the right leg out long, give it a gentle little shake out. Relax the leg. And then slowly allow that left knee to drop out towards the side. It doesn't need to meet the ground. Coming back up through center. Keep that right leg relaxed as you press into that left foot to help roll onto the right hip. You don't need to come all the way over onto your side. And coming back to center. Left knee drops open again. Maybe checking in with that right leg. Is it still soft and relaxed? Give it a shake if not. Coming back up through center. Press into that right foot. Roll onto the right hip. Sorry, the left foot. Just really noticing where you feel any sensation in your body. It might surprise you where you feel anything. Coming back through center. Last time, you know what to do. And rolling on to that right hip. Lovely. And coming back to center. We're going to make our way from here to all fours. So seeing if you can do it with your eyes closed. If you need to open them, don't worry. So I'm going to just roll onto one side. And then use my hands to press up. And come to all fours. So don't worry too much about the alignment. So just get a sense of where the hands are in space, where the knees are in space. Just trying to align yourself so that the shoulders are roughly over the wrists and the knees are underneath the hips. Again, just don't open your eyes to have a look. Just trust that you're in the right position. We'll just move through a few rounds of cat and cow with your own breath. Inhale as you lift the tailbone, drop the belly, drawing the chest forwards, maybe lifting the head slightly. And exhale as you take the spine in the opposite direction. Just really noticing what's going on in your body, where you feel sensation. Just tuning into what your body wants. So if you're wanting to add any other movements here, feel free to. Maybe your body intuitively wants to make a certain movement. Just listen to that and go ahead and do it. Just a couple more rounds with your own breath. Okay, and then coming back to a neutral spine. And just take the knees a little bit wider, so taking them away from each other ever slightly. So you've got a nice wide base between the knees. It might feel a little bit strange. And then stepping the right foot forwards. So bringing it roughly to the outside of that right hand. You've got a nice wide base between the legs. Bring both hands to the ground. Start to make some circles with your hips. So whatever that means to you. It doesn't matter which direction you went in. It doesn't matter how big or how small. And you can move your hands around the mat if it helps you get into a better position for your body. So maybe as you come forwards, the hands come forwards, walking them back as you circle the hips back. There's no right or wrong. Just sensing into the body. And then reverse those circles. And then coming back to your lunge, just walking that right foot a little bit closer in to your body. So the hands frame the foot now. Keep the left hand down on the ground and start to twist the torso towards the right leg, reaching that right arm up if it feels okay for you. And maybe bring the hand onto the hip. And just seeing where you feel anything in your body. Maybe you feel this in the torso, maybe you feel it into that left front of the hip. And then bringing the hand back down to frame the foot and shift the hips back. So straightening that front leg as much or as little as you like. So as you inhale, bend into the knee and come forwards, maybe dropping the hips down. And exhale, shifting the hips back, straightening that front leg. And again, maybe you walk the hands back as you shift the hips back. No right or wrong. Moving nice and slowly. And just add in anything in if you feel like you need to. As I came forwards, I felt like a little bit of a circle as I shifted the hips back. Maybe when you shift the hips back, you walk the hands right alongside the body and sit back towards the heels. Just make it your own, move in a way that your body is guiding you to. All the time keeping that breath nice and equal and steady. The last one. Next time you come forward with the knee bent, just going to take that leg back in space so you come back to your tabletop. Again, just bring the knees a little bit wider than you normally would. We'll move to the other side. So as you're ready, step in that left foot forwards, maybe using the hands to guide it there. Got a nice wide stance between the legs. And then starting to circle the hips. So any direction, any amount. Maybe start small and make the movements bigger as you get into it. You can move the hands around the ground. Maybe you feel cold to just stay still here. And if you find something that feels particularly good in your body today, you can pause there. It's your practice. And reverse those circles. Next time the hips come back forwards, stay there in your low lunge. Just shuffle that left foot in a bit. So we're now framing that front foot with our hands. Keep the right hand on the ground, twisting the body towards that left leg. Maybe reaching that left arm up, or maybe bring the hand onto the hip. Just see what feels good here. Maybe you work to sink the hips a little bit lower. Maybe you come right up onto the fingertips so you can get into a deeper twist. Just have a play around, see what feels right. Just a couple more breaths here. Lovely. Bringing the hand back down to frame that front foot. And then we'll start to shift the hips back. Straighten into that front leg. And inhale, come forwards, bending into the knee. And again, maybe walk the hands back as you shift the hips back. Just really explore what feels right for you. You don't need to keep this as a linear movement, so you don't just need to move back and forth. Maybe add in some little circles as you move. Make this your last one. Shifting the hips back, folding over that leg. And inhale to come forwards, back into your lunge. Just going to step that left foot back so we come back into our tabletop. And then tuck the toes under and send the hips up and back. So you can make any movements that you like here. Maybe you bend and straighten each leg. Maybe you bump the hips side to side. Just doing whatever feels right. If it makes you feel unbalanced or dizzy or anything like that, just open the eyes or drop down to your knees. You can always skip this out. Anything that doesn't feel right for you, just give it a swerve. And then bend the knees really deeply. If you're still in your down dog, come on to the balls of the feet. And really slowly walk your way to the top of the mat. So bend the knees really deeply so that you can keep both hands on the ground. So you don't feel wobbly or unsteady. And just walking your way to wherever you feel like the top of your mat might be. Into a forward fold. And keep the hands on the ground, but allow the upper body to be really heavy. And rather than swaying here, we're just going to walk the hands off towards the left side of the mat. And then slowly walking back through center over towards the right. Keeping the hands on the ground should help us to feel really steady. We're just going to walk the hands from side to side. Maybe if you feel okay, you might start to sweep the fingertips from one side to the other. And if you do feel really quite balanced, maybe you do take hold of opposite elbows or opposite hands and sway the body. There's no right or wrong. Lovely. Coming back to center. Bend the knees really deeply. Step that left foot all the way back. Bend into the front knee. Stay up on the toes of the back foot as you just lower the hips down towards the ground. Just seeing what you notice here, maybe rocking back and forth here. And then step that foot back up to the top, next to the right. Bend the knees deeply, send the right toes back this time. Keep the knee lifted, front knee is bent. And just sinking the hips down low. Maybe rock back and forth. Okay. And then lower that back knee. Make sure both hands are planted. And step that left foot back. So you're back in the tabletop. Bring the big toes to touch. And take the knees out nice and wide. And start to sit the hips back towards the heels. Reaching the arms forwards. Relaxing the head down towards the ground. Just bringing your awareness back to your breath. Noticing where you feel it in your body. Can you become more aware of your breath in the back of your body, on the sides? As you feel the rib cage expand with every inhale. And soften back towards the spine on every exhale. Maybe with every inhale you feel the skin on your back stretch. And then slowly start to lift the head, walking the hands back towards the body. Either sitting the hips onto the heels, or maybe you take a different seat now. Just whatever feels comfortable to you. Bring the hands in front of you and start to rub the palms together. Really quite vigorously, creating some heat between the hands. And then bring the palms over the eyes. And start to open the eyes up underneath your palms. And just start to gently part the fingers, allowing a little bit of light in. Just allowing your eyes to gradually get used to the light around you again. Moving the hands completely away from the eyes. Whenever you're ready to, whenever your eyes feel relaxed. Okay, thank you so much for joining me for this practice. I know it's a little bit different to what we would normally do, but hopefully it was still a good experience for you. Maybe helped you to tune into your body a little bit. So yeah, I'd love to hear how you got on with it. So let me know. Enjoy the rest of your day.